Okay. Well, Janice, I will let you take it away. I'm quite sure Kathy and I are going to really enjoy hearing what you have to say. I know I've been looking forward to it, to learn a little bit more about you and your business. And so I'm going to just hand over the ropes and say, let's go.
Okay. Thanks, Sherry. I want to thank you for doing this too. It's a nice opportunity to be part of it, and also to as a participant like this, but also to be able to listen to the speakers and things too, because we can always learn so much from each other. And I think that's one thing right now is opening up with things like Zoom, that we can get together. And oh, there's Olga has come
Yeah.
on. Hi, Olga. That we can get together and learn from one another. And I think that's really where it starts. I know with myself, I started Mindful Journey about 15 years ago, and I can't hardly believe it's been that long, but I'm an unconventional minister. I'm metaphysical. I wasn't at the time. That's something that's come along over the years since I've had Mindful Journey. But in my business, as Sherry mentioned, I'm a Reiki master, I'm a hypnotherapist, and those are things that were not familiar at all in Hastings County, at least not openly. There were people that were doing it, but nobody really talked about it. We were like the secret little people. And but here I am in Marmara, and I have a business, and I'm advertising it and everything else. And that's fine. I tend to choose the unconventional path when I do things. So I do know what about some of the struggles of starting your own business and keeping one going. And I found a lot of it was educating the public and myself, learning different ways of getting out there. And I was very happy to, like economic development, when I started, that's when they started with their business coaching. So I thought anything that's out there, I'm going to take advantage of. Anything that's free and out there, I'm really going to take advantage of. But I did learn a lot from that, and that led me into being involved in Hastings County Wellness, was a division of Hastings County, and I was chair of that for a few years too. And that's when all of these people came out of the woodwork that were Reiki masters and worked in the holistic and wellness business came out, because as we discovered, most of us are sole entrepreneurs. So you start to feel you don't have anybody to talk to. And so having this group where we could come together and talk was great. Well, one of the things that I first realized was one of the things that was holding people back was their lack of confidence in what they did and their preconceived ideas of what they thought the public thought about them. And I thought, we're our biggest enemy. We're holding ourselves back. Well, with my training in hypnosis and the coaching that comes with that, I realized that everything starts in our own head. We create our own reality. So in order for us, and then can relate this to business, in order for us to move forward and to grow, we have to envision where it is we want to be. And in our own mind first. We can read all the books, we can take all the courses, we can go to all the professionals for help. But unless we feel that we are able to succeed and that we are worthy of that success, then it's not going to happen. Because in our own mind, we won't feel that we've done enough, have enough. We're always in want of something. So I've got these three main things that create the framework for getting our head in the right place and how it kind of works. And this applies not just to business, this applies to everything in our life, because everything, our reality, begins with us. So I always get the example of like two people could go to a party, say. One person's going there thinking, I really don't want to go here. I know so-and-so is going to be there. I'm going to have a rotten time. And they're grumpy before they even get in through the door, which makes it very difficult for the person they're going with. This may sound like a couple. But anyway, they go there, and but the other person is really excited to go there, and I don't know who's going to be here, but I just know it's going to be great. It's so nice to get out of the house. So they're entering this very same environment. Everything's the same in there, but they're looking at it through different eyes. So the one person's already made up their mind they're not going to have a good time. Chances are they will not. They'll find something, because they're looking. As soon as they go through that door, they're looking for something to be wrong. And there I was right. There's so-and-so over in the corners, drank too much already, and I wish I was home. The other person goes in and, oh, isn't this wonderful, says hello to everybody, and is having a great time, because they already went with a mindset that they're going to have a good time. Now, when they relay that same party to somebody else, they're both going to give two different stories, but yet they were at the same place. It all started with a thought they put in their own head. So this is where we have to start with everything too. So the first thing you need to do is conceive it. So regardless of the business or service that you're into or thinking of starting, you have to envision it yourself. You have to see yourself doing that work without any restrictions. So you take away the thought of money and all the what ifs or if onlys and all of those excuses that seem to come forward and stop us from moving forward and doing well. Is we just, this is what I envision, this is what I see me doing, this is what, and at the core of it should be bringing you joy. If you are not happy, if you do not find joy and fulfillment from your business and service, you might want to reconsider your business or your service. Because isn't that the reason that we don't work for other people? Is that we don't enjoy doing that job for someone else. We have this vision of, I could do that. And so you want to see yourself already doing it. And you also don't want to put it in the future, even if you haven't started anything yet, or if you're making changes, but you're just starting on that road to them. See them and envision it as if it's already done. Because that's what you want to manifest. That's what you want to create. And so even when you speak to yourself, I am doing XYZ, not I will be doing it, I am doing it. So you feel it in your body, what it feels like to reach your goal and to accomplish what it is you set forth. And then you're open now to receive opportunities to come into your life. You'll recognize them. It's like going into that party. The person that was looking for the nice tray of food's going to find it. And so that if you put that mindset that I'm going to be open to new ideas, to opportunities, perhaps it's to do something like this or to meet with a certain group, that you'll do it and you'll find ways then to bring your dreams into a reality. So the next thing, you thought about it, now you've got that envisioned in your mind. Now the next thing is to kind of drop it down into your heart and believe it. You need to believe that you can do this. Because after all, how are you going to convince me that you're the person I need for that service or to go in and buy your product if you don't even know for sure if you're good enough at it? That's not very much confidence there. It's like, I don't want to go to a doctor think, well, I'm not really sure if I'm very good at this or not. I was last in my class, but come on in, I'll see what I can do. You know, I really don't know if I'd go there if I felt that kind of energy coming off someone. So, but it applies to every business or service we do. You have to find, and that's where it comes to finding that joy in what you do, a sense of purpose and fulfillment. So times like now when you have the choice to either quit what you're doing or force things to go through. It's kind of like going against the current. And I know this isn't really going to work right now with the COVID restrictions and everything, but I'm just going to keep doing things the same old way. Or you can be flexible and rethink and reshape your business to adapt it to the changing world. And it doesn't, and I think that's what we should always be doing anyway. If we're constantly doing things the very same way that we've always done them, we're living in the past. And things do change and you need to go forward with it. And don't look at it as a bad thing. Change isn't a bad thing. I know for some personalities it's not easy, like to be in that comfort zone. But the trouble is our comfort zone becomes a prison because it restricts us from seeing what's on the other side. And it could be something wonderful and more beneficial for your company. Transition sometimes can be rough. Who am I kidding? It's always rough, right? Because we've got to change our mindset. We've got to change the way we do things, our time schedules, everything else. But what if by doing that and working through all that, we actually come out on the other side with a more flourishing business service? We're able to reach more people than we would have before. I know with mine, it's a service, so it's I haven't products to sell per se, but and I'm used to doing things one-on-one or in group settings for workshops. So I've opened it up to the Zoom. And I've had some of the people come on there say, I hope you keep doing this because we wouldn't have come to Marmara to go to that workshop otherwise. And it's true, you can now reach literally people around the world that you wouldn't have had otherwise. And if you have products that you sell, then is there a way that you can now sell them online rather than people coming into your store? Is there a way you can conduct your classes by Zoom rather than you being them coming to you? Because now you can reach a larger area. You don't have to travel. Your
No.
expenses are actually down then. And that's what I found. Okay, you know what? I don't have to rush around, and if I'm having people at my house, I don't have to, worry about having my house all cleaned up before they get there. Or I don't have to hurry up and pack my car up and go somewhere and get set up for people to come. And people don't have to, like, I'm looking it forward into winter, that, no one's going to worry, or I'm not going to worry about the weather, because I know last year I had to postpone 2 or 3 classes because of freezing rain and things like that. So unless the hydro goes out and the internet goes down, people can still come online and still do the class and wear their PJs if they like. I don't care. It's all that. I always say, I only see from the waist up, but just remember, if you stand up, I'm going to see everything. So it's to be flexible and to rethink and reshape how we do things. The third part of that is then achieve it. So we've conceived the idea, we believe we can do it, and then achieve it. So once you've planted the seed of endless possibilities in your mind, feel it through your body, and then be open to bend and weave if need be to meet your goals. You will achieve them. Remember that everything, absolutely everything, begins with a thought. The chair you're sitting on, somebody had to think there's got to be a better way than sitting on that rock over there. That took a few tries for them to get it right. And it's the same with our businesses. Quite often it takes a few tries for us to get it going in the direction we need it to. And then, just when you think, oh, that's working pretty good, we may need to change it again. And that's okay. That just keeps us alive and vibrant and moving forward. So that kind of creates the framework. But then out of that, there's some things that we need to consider about our own way of thinking. Since everything begins with a thought, we need to ask ourselves, am I positive or negative in my thinking? Well, nobody wants to say they're a negative thinker. I have people that actually, a member of my own family can be quite negative, and when I comment on it, the reply is, I'm not a negative thinker, I'm realistic. You're living in la la land. I said, yeah, but I'm a lot happier here. But there is being realistic to what's going on around you. But if you're constantly looking at everything that's to you is bad, or that there's no sense me trying that because, you know what, it'll never succeed, well, you're not going to get anywhere. And that is being realistic, I guess, because you're being negative. So that is the world that you're seeing, and that's the type of energy that you're creating. When we start to pay attention to the words we use, when we speak about ourselves and other people, and being very aware of that, then we can realize whether we're allowing negative language to come into our vocabulary, because that is a reflection of what's going on in our head. And it also starts to be what we believe. A good example, what brought that to my mind was years ago, I was working in a bakery, actually, and my coworker, I knew she was having a rough time and things like that, and she would joke around, but she was always putting herself down, and then she'd kind of laugh about it. And I felt, at the time, I didn't know that much about how to really help someone with that, but to me, I thought, well, I'll just joke around sometimes too, so she doesn't feel so bad. And I didn't realize I was starting to say stuff about me that was negative, until one time at home, my husband says, why are you always calling yourself, oh, look at the stupid thing I did and stuff. He says, why are you always saying that? And I thought, why am I always saying that? I never used to say that all the time. And I realized that I was picking up her vocabulary, and I was starting to use that when she'd say, oh, that figures that happened because I always do stupid stuff. Well, really, she was saying she was stupid. And so I was joking around, and I was saying it about myself as well. And I thought, that's right, because then you start to believe that about yourself. So I changed it at work. I just said, okay, that's it. No more allowed. Nobody can say that they're stupid. We're all pretty smart here. We just did something crazy. It's all right. It'll all be better. And so I actually did that. Anytime anybody started to say anything, and myself included, I put a kibosh on it, because I could see that that was creating, without really even realizing, it was creating this flow of negativity, and getting rid of the self-worth that we had, and that wasn't worth it at all. So be mindful of the words that you use. And something I learned through the hypnosis when we're dealing with people is the brain does not hold on to negative words, in that, for example, I'll use the example of losing weight, because when I first started hypnosis, that was one of the main things people would come to me for, was either to stop smoking or to, watch their weight. So if I would never say to them as a positive affirmation, I will not eat fats and sugar, because the brain is only thinking, I will eat, it leaves out not fats and sugar. You're bringing your awareness on what you do not want your body to do. It doesn't know that. It's just you're bringing your awareness on fats and sugars. Have you ever tried to cut out something out of your diet and you just constantly crave it all of a sudden? It's not really so much that your body needs it. It's because your brain is thinking, I can't have that. So you're focusing on what you cannot have. And so your body's saying, I need some of that. Instead, it would say, I will eat healthy, and I will say what you can have. And then that way your mind is focusing on what you want, what you need, rather than what you shouldn't have. So when we make our positive affirmations, I've seen people write out positive affirmations which really aren't so positive, because they write in there all the things they do not want to have or do not want their business to do, where they should be writing the direction they want it to go in, where they see it going in. If you see what I mean with that, it's a totally different.
Like a reverse psychology almost.
Well, it is. We have to focus on what it is we want to bring in, not what we want to keep out, because then you're focusing on the wrong thing. It's like you attract that, So we need to focus on our words and how we're using them. So it's a matter of being mindful of what you're saying and what the direction you want to go in. And then fears are the next thing to be aware of. So every one of us have fears tucked away in our lovely little ego. It's that little voice that says to you what makes you think you can do this, that's never going to work. And there's always behind all of that is a fear of something. And these are the most popular ones, if fear was to be popular. Right on top would be the fear of speaking in front of people. That still outweighs people's fear of death, which I just can't quite get that one. But Olga, maybe you know better about that one. But the number one fear is the fear of failure, which I'll touch on a little bit later. It's when we go to start something, we're afraid that we're not going to be successful at it. So we're afraid we're not going to do well at it. Connected with that is usually the fear of what other people will think. We allow people to judge, or we think we're going to be judged, which we probably are, but we're allowing other people's actions and reactions to affect us. The fear of success can actually come into that, because being successful, you have this certain obligation. You feel you have this certain obligation that people are going to have expectations of you. And some people are afraid of that. I'd like to run my own company, but then I'm going to have all the responsibility. And then people are going to want me to do this. They're going to want me to do that. And I'll just stay here and not do that because, I'm just afraid of being too good at what I do. People are going to expect me to be. So then that again comes down to the fear of what people think. So we got to get rid of that one. The fear of not being good enough. It's when we compare ourselves to other people that are doing similar or the same type of business, that we think, well, they're already doing that, so it's no sense me even thinking about it because they're so good and so well known. Well, what do you have to offer that's different from theirs? There are a lot of us that are all in holistic care and wellness, but we all have our own way of doing things and dealing with people. And yourself, you resonate with certain people more than others. So how do you know there's not a group of people there that would come and use your service or shop at your store or eat in your restaurant? Now, if you're thinking of opening up a pizza place and there's already 2 or 3 of them in town, you might want to reconsider that. But that doesn't mean you can't be in the restaurant business. What is it that you could offer that these other places can't? So it's that fear of not being good enough. Then there's the fear of making a mistake. like as if we're not all human, and that could never happen, right? But then that goes back to what other people think and the fear of failure. So I guess the biggest thing out of all of this is to come and grow and evolve and to be understanding that you have no control over what other people say, what other people
Yeah,
do.
I'm going to be here
You
all
only have control over what you how you act and react to situations. And in your business world, of course, you want to know the feedback of other people, your customers, so that you can
perfect.
serve them well. But
Perfect.
it's to do it with an open mind and
Thank you so
objectively, and
much.
to learn from it. So, but dealing with these fears is very
No,
important.
that's okay. That's okay.
Uh, there are more, of course, that we could throw in there, but they tend to all lead back at the very core root to one of these. When we allow fear to stop us from taking chances, following what we feel is our passion and purpose, we're left often with regrets and remorse. It's what if I'd already always, or sorry, what if I had taken that chance? What if I had done that? So it's better to have tried it, and maybe it didn't work out for you. Don't think of it as a failure. Take the word failure right out of your vocabulary. Some things work well, some things don't. That's what it is. It's only a failure to me if you don't learn from the lesson that you just got from that. Like if you continue to do the same thing and it keeps, you think, I don't know why this isn't working. Well, maybe it's because you're doing the same thing over and over and over again, trying to force it to work. And I think that's where we are right now too, is we really do need to make some changes. So it's being bendable, flexible, so that we allow ourselves to do that. And take the words but, because as soon as you say something positive and then you say but, and then you put something after it, you've pretty much discontinued that whole first bit. I know my business is I'm really good at what I do, but, and then you put something after this, like you make an excuse. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. You're worthy to.
I see so many business owners, especially new business owners, that do that. And that's
Mm,
showing basically the lack of confidence within themselves, and
exactly.
their ability to, or feeling like they have no ability to do it. So I see that quite a bit in my business coaching as well, Janice, and I try to encourage not to use those words as much as possible. So
Like we have to be aware of obstacles that can come in our way, and all this sort of thing, and have different scenarios kind of thing. But um, I have learned the biggest thing is just to recognize that I'm not in total control of everything, and it's okay to be flexible and and look at everything as a learning experience rather than something that's right or wrong, or successful or a failure. And I mean, how many businesses, what we would consider successful because of the money they make, that have gone bankrupt and started again, bankrupt and started again? They learned from each experience, and then finally, bingo, there it is. And
yeah,
I think that's the way it is. Like with life in general, you learn from our mistakes. We really have learned no lessons unless we've gone through a few things that I'd like to say there's a few of my life lessons that would have turned out better, perhaps, in other ways. So I hope I learned from them and not making the same mistake. So it's just to get our mindset in it. Some people go, that's nothing, but it really is huge, because you have to have in here believe that you can do what you can do, or how am I going to think that, you know? And just ask yourself in these times, what did I learn from this? And then apply that so that you can make revisions. Sometimes you got to scrap things and start all over again, and that's okay too. There's not a thing wrong with that, because sometimes a plan just isn't working.
yeah,
And
and you have to take those plans. You take the little bit that did work, and then make sure you don't throw that out, but incorporate it somewhere in the new plan, so that it
exactly.
will work. So you don't throw the whole thing out, but you take and see what did work. And
And I found the biggest thing was getting ego out of the way, because I know when I first started to do things, of course, we're always very conscious of our finances and things. That, I mean, we're in business, and that's, and especially when you're first starting, there's always not a lot there to draw from. And because I thought, okay, I know bookkeeping, I know computers, I know this, I know that, I can do it all myself. Well, maybe in theory I could, but but you're taking your mind and you're away from where your passion is.
That's right.
And it should be, your energy should be focused on your business. It's okay to hire someone to do your books if that's driving you crazy. It's great to hire someone like Sherry to help you get your business plan and everything going and your marketing and do all of that, because it'll, in the end, this is what's going to really help you. So I found it's realizing that I don't have to do it all myself, that I can get other people to help me, and then focus where it is you really want to be working. So in my case, I really want to be working with people. I really want to be writing. I really want to be doing workshops. And so that could focus on that sort of thing. And it's something that I encourage people to do once, twice, 5 times a year, however much you want. Every January, I make a vision board. I used to think, oh, that's silly, but they work. So on that vision board, I put my plans for 2020. The only thing that isn't going to, well, I don't know, the year's not over yet, was I wanted to get my passport and plan a trip with my husband somewhere, but that didn't work out. So it's okay. We did it. You see, it worked out okay. We didn't get our stuff all together in January. We wouldn't have been able to go anywhere anyway. So we saved ourselves some coin. But I put it where I can see it, and I look at it, and it reminds me of what my goals are for my business or personal life for that year. And, right in the middle of that, I put publish and promote. That's the name of my publishing company for my book, for my recent book, Sally's Closet. To me, it was really important that I make sure I get that out, and I ended up getting it all done early. Everything was done early because I was focused on it. I saw it every day. Oh yeah, I got to work on that. I got to do that, and other things on there as well. So again, we think it, and it's been proven that if you write down your goals, that they will. People are, I don't know the percentage, but it's a high percentage that will accomplish those goals if they take that extra step and write it down. It's like you make a contract with yourself. So the vision board is like a contract with yourself. Create a mission statement for your business if you don't already have one. I think, Sherry, wouldn't you agree that's really important for a company to have?
It is. It's very important to have. It doesn't matter what size your business, either if you're just a one-man show to having employees up to 500, you need to have a mission statement, because that is your core value that you're telling your customers and the prospects your future prospects of customers. If you don't have a mission statement, then how can you run a business? Okay, you need to have that mission statement to say, these are my core values, this is what I believe in, and this is how I'm going to help you. Okay. Very, very, you need a strong one. Sometimes a good strong statement can be just a one-line sentence. Okay. To no more than 2 lines. Okay, you don't want them so long that people won't read them or it gets too complicated. So 2 lines is max at the most. And but yeah, a mission statement is definitely needed. Doesn't matter what size your business is. If you're a home-based business, even if you're just selling Avon.
Exactly. They have a mission statement. Yeah.
Yes. Avon has their own mission statement. And if you believe in that Avon mission statement, then you're going to believe in that product that you're selling. And those ladies, and I have to say there's even a gentleman that I know in Kelowna, BC that sells Avon, and he strongly believes in it. And he has done immensely well with his sales. So it doesn't matter what your business is, if you're in the products that you're selling, you need to have that in order to be I want to use the word functionable, but
well, to me, it's the core. It says who you are. It doesn't have to say what you do. I don't think it's just what
you believe in.
Yeah, and if you're going to work for someone else, if you have employees, I know if I was going to work somewhere, I would read their mission statement to tell me what their core values are, because maybe they don't match with mine. Like mine is Mindful Journey's mission is to assist others in awakening spirituality in all aspects of their life practices with light, love, and healing. And it's in everything, because I thought, well, how do I sum it up? Because I do so many things. But to me, that is. So if someone wasn't looking for something spiritual, they probably wouldn't come to me if they read that, because she's going to be, but I just, for me, it's mind, body, spirit, how it all is connected.
Yeah.
So, but to me, it's very important that you have that, because you need to know why am I doing this?
Yeah.
And if you don't know, again, how is anyone else supposed to know? It does start with you.
Exactly. And this kind of ties back a little bit yesterday, ladies, and when I was talking about branding and the power of storytelling. Your mission statement can actually be a sales tool as part of your storytelling. And it can actually just work wonders for you. And you just got to take that chance and go for it.
Yeah, I think it's very important to, and if you're finding, oh, I'm not sure what mine is, then that's true. Sometimes it's hard to say it, but I think it gets us thinking, well, what is it that I want to say to people? What do I want people to think of when they think of my company?
And
What do they see there?
yeah, exactly. And the best thing, if you don't know where to start by asking your current customers what they
Yeah.
what they see in your products and your services and who you are as a business owner. And if you ask that question to about 5 or 6 current customers and get that feedback, then you can start building a mission statement that will work for you, and it'll come from your heart
Mm-hmm.
and
And
what
that's
you
where it
believe
should
in.
come from.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then, after you do all that, then I would ask people, what's your definition of success? So we tend to think of a business, especially successful, is based on how much finances they have. And of course, we all do want to be in the black. We don't want to be in the red in a business, but I mean, that does happen too. But now that you have your mission statement, you can move ahead with looking at how successful, or what being successful means to you. Finances, like I said, are important, but it's not everything with feeling successful. So look at your business statement, and do you feel that your business is living up to that statement? So you're already in business, you've got your business statement already, you're going along, and if what you're doing, you can't help it.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's the joy of live. We're live when.
Unfortunately, UPS went by.
Well, I'm liable to have a cat or two come up anytime, so that's why I put the screen behind me. Um, but if you were to take the money part out of your business, is it living up to your mission statement? So going back, using mine as an example, if I didn't feel that I was helping people to find spirituality, the importance of mind, body, spirit, and the work that they do, or in their lives, and doing it in a loving way for them, then I probably wouldn't feel I was living up to what my business was supposed to be doing, and I wouldn't feel successful. I've had workshops when I first started that I anticipated, say 20 people come to them. And when the night came, or everybody signed up, and I had 3 show up. And I'm thinking, oh, I'm a failure. I didn't do well. It didn't, But at the end of that night, those 3 people communicated with me a lot of really deep things that they most likely would not have said in front of a larger group. I also was able to help some of those people. I created a space for them to be in where they felt safe. So was my night successful? Actually, it was, because I lived up to my mission statement. So at the end of the night, I felt very good about what had happened. And that's what made me realize there was a difference between financial success and feeling that joy and feeling successful in what I do. So that's when you forget about failure. Are there things that I could do better to bring more people out to the group? Yes. And so what is that? But if at the end of that workshop, if I had 50 people there and not one of them got anything out of anything I said or did all night, I maybe would have money in my pocket, but I might not have people to the next one because they wouldn't have gotten out of it what I promised in my mission statement. I wouldn't feel successful because I wouldn't have fulfilled my mission statement. So I'll just kind of leave that with you to think about a little bit. The other thing is bringing balance in your life. And we hear it all the time that we have to equal out work and play. And that is very important. When you have your own business, it's who you are, right? Like I'm like a walking billboard. So you're going to see the good, the bad, and the ugly. It happens all the time. And I don't try to be anything or anyone more than I am. But I also know that I need to have time for family. I can't, that was one of the things I had to learn early in my business, was to set definite hours and times. And because I was always giving in to, oh, well, there's a client, I can't turn a client down, so yeah, I'll see them on Sunday afternoon, and that'll just mess up my whole day, but hey, it'll make them happy, you know. But then you can't do that, because after a while I found that every day was taken up with other people, and I wasn't having time for my people and for myself, because I need to rejuvenate. You need to rejuvenate. So the best things to do that are just even 15 minutes a day, more if you can, to do meditation, just deep breathing exercises, even anything that just kind of takes you in. Meditation actually takes you out of your own head, so you can just feel overall wellness. Getting outside in nature, going for a walk, and when you're outside, make sure you take those deep breaths, because we deprive ourselves of oxygen way too much, and our cells are healthy when they have lots of oxygen. So getting outside for a few minutes, well, for more than a few minutes if you can, because quite often we're in front of computers and stuff too much. Get your proper sleep. A lot of people don't sleep properly, and they think, well, I can't sleep, so I get up and I go in front of the television, and I go to sleep there. Well, we have smart TVs now, which means we have Wi-Fi all around us. We have our cell phones. We have our computers. We're inundated with a lot of energy that we didn't have before, and there are reports, it isn't bogus, that does interfere with our brain waves, and it does interfere with our sleep. When you fall asleep in front of the television set, you might think you're resting, but you don't go into deep sleep. And what happens, that deep sleep, you need that to repair your body and to feel totally rested. And also, your subconscious mind is taking in whatever's coming off the television. So if you might wake up in the morning and feel like you just relived World War II, you might have, because it could have been on television that night. So if you're going to fall asleep in front of the television, at least put it on some YouTube meditation music or something. But even that, it's best to get in bed. Your room should be dark. It should be cool. If you can have fresh air come in, that's even better. And you should sleep naked. So if you're not doing that, it's better for you to sleep naked. And who knows what else may happen, They say your bedroom should be for sleep, sex, and sickness. Nothing else. That's it. So the reasons for that is your mind and body create a trigger with one another. So if you develop a nighttime routine, such as for myself, like I like to meditate about an hour before I go to bed so that I become relaxed, maybe drink an herbal tea, put something, if I'm going to watch TV, I don't want to watch the news, I don't want to watch any, the Trump series that's on or anything like that. Something that's gentle, quiet, no thinker, that sort of thing. Maybe read a book. You start that routine, and then your subconscious mind holds all that so that it knows, oh, when X, Y, and Z happens, she goes to sleep. So we do it with our kids. We try to get them a routine so that they know what it's bedtime and they go to sleep. We should do that with ourselves. Do not keep your cell phones next to you. I know most of us use cell phones now instead of the landline, but put it on the dresser away from your bed. Outside the room's even better. I don't know how many university kids I talk to, they put them under their pillow. That's like sticking your head in a microwave oven all night. So don't do that. You want that out of your space, okay? So getting a good night's sleep is very good. So before we go any further, there's one little thing I'd like to do, a very short exercise with you, and then have some questions if you have them. So this is just a breathing exercise that you can do anytime except when you're driving and you need to keep your eyes open. And I actually had to put that disclaimer on my CDs and things when I made them, is so that people do not play this while driving or where mental alertness is needed. Because I actually had a truck driver say to me, could I put this meditation on while I'm driving? I said, not if you're going to drive with your eyes shut. I mean, you're going to have to tell you to shut your eyes and relax. So no. That's, I had someone else tell me that one time too. Oh, I like to put your CD in the car while I'm driving. I said, don't do that. She says, well, I don't close my eyes. And I says, but your subconscious mind is listening to this. So,
Yeah.
you know, I don't want to be responsible for anyone's accident. So I had to put a disclaimer on there. Anyway, so let's just try a little bit of the deep breathing here right now. And so if you're already sitting comfortable, you do that. And then just as we are going to take a breath in. And then as you exhale, close your eyes. Take another long, slow, deep breath in. And exhale, and this time being aware of your body a bit more. And one more long, slow, deep breath. And exhale. Now just bring all your awareness to your breathing, not trying to control it, but just simply observing how you are breathing, what's comfortable for you. Say to yourself on your inhalation, I am breathing in. And as you exhale, I am breathing out. Use that like a mantra. A mantra's purpose is to bring our awareness away from the outside world and inward. So I am breathing in. I am breathing out. And then from this moment on every exhalation, allow the muscles in your body to just soften and relax. Taking your awareness all the way down to your toes. And with that awareness, bring awareness up your body with every breath, all the way up to the top of your head. And then as you exhale, all the way back down to your feet. Now bring your awareness into your legs on your inhalation, being aware of how they feel. And then when you exhale, relax and let go. Continue your awareness up your thighs and your hips. And when you exhale, relax. Bring your awareness now up through your stomach area and around your back, being aware of any tension that might be there. But you have the power within yourself to control that. So when you exhale, relax and let go. Bring your awareness up across your chest and across your shoulders and down your arms and fingertips. And on your next exhalation, relax and let go. And bring your awareness up your neck and throat and all through your head. And then just relax. And then you say to yourself, I am endless possibilities. I am willing to bend and change when needed. I am worthy to live in joy. I am successful. Now just bring your awareness back to your breath, breathing in a long, slow, deep breath, and exhale. Do that one more time, breathing in and exhale. And then open your eyes. So this is something that only took about 5 minutes. You can do to help relax you. I find sometimes that during lunch, when I have a few minutes to get away, to just do that to help bring focus and clarity back. And that's something you can do before you go to bed. If you get in bed and find that you can't rest very well, just take some deep breaths and on your exhalation, relax the muscles in your body, that you'll find that especially if you do that on a regular basis, again, you create that trigger that when I exhale like this, my body will relax, that you will fall asleep faster. Okay.
Great.
Well,
Well,
that's it.
Thank you, Janice. I think we've all learned a lot. I know I did. I took lots of notes here.
Oh, I was going to say, I meant to mention at the very beginning, I do have these notes so that if anyone wants them, I gladly, if you pop me an email or whatever, or Sherry an email, I'll make sure you get them. Hi.
Great. Well, ladies, do you have any questions for Janice?
Comments?
No?
Thank you, Janice. Thank you, Sherry. I always find it really useful. I mean, a lot of the principles that both of you talk about, it's in here. I need to put it in here and then get my hands to do the work. So it's always good reminders. Absolutely.
Yeah, a lot of times we know this stuff, and it's just sometimes we need to hear it again and think, oh, yeah. The reminder for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I can see, Olga, you got the sun right in your face coming through your window there. The glare coming right off your door.
It's the light.
There you go.
The sun there, yeah.
Yeah, but that's better with the light off. Your face looks better. You had a lovely alien yellow look to you.
Yeah. Well, Janice, I really thank you for this. I know I certainly it was a good reminder for myself on a few things too, to make sure that that we understand that this whole transition that we're going through in these last 5 months has been hard on all of us in many different ways. And if you can actually take look at the positive side of it, then you can actually move forward going into your business, going into your personal life, and that's what I've been doing. I've been looking at it more on the positive side than the negative. And just there was a couple of things there that you said that kind of hit home to me that make me to stop to think that I need to make a few little changes for myself.
Yeah, well, like I said, for me, I kind of already decided at the end of last year that this year was going to be a year for change in my business, and I didn't know that COVID-19 was going to kind of force a change for so many. So I'd already started my mindset in doing the online things. I just didn't know it was going to be like a necessity, which for me personally, not that I want anything major worldwide to happen to force that, but sometimes I almost need that.
Yeah.
And because you do get used to things. But I'm surprised though that I haven't done weddings this year because they've been all moved to next year. So next summer is going to be really busy. But you think I'd have all this extra time that I could be doing all this stuff, but I don't know where my time is going. I am still very busy and trying to get things working.
I think that's with a lot of business owners. We have taken this time to reflect on ourselves and our business. And I know personally, I took the time back in middle of March and early April, and I really looked at the business and I started pulling it apart to say, hey, okay, this service doesn't really make me any money anymore. Why do I have it? I cleaned house and I reshifted my whole business concept. I know that back in September I had pivoted the business by taking and adding in workshops and start doing workshops and they were coming along just fine, and was really enjoying it. And then of course, like you said, everything hit really hard in March, and so I had to relook at everything again. So I made another pivot. So a good friend of mine out west, Colin Spark, had said to me a long time ago here that you need to be able to pivot your business at any given time. Not just when a crisis happens. You've got to be able to look at your business at least every quarter and start making those changes. And if you don't, you won't grow and you won't be successful. So that kind of has really stuck with me this last little while. I'm getting ready to go into my new quarter because my year end was July 31st. So with that being said, I'm looking at making another change. And it's just the way it goes, and it's one of the things that I've learned. And if I can pass anything on to you ladies, is don't be scared to take a look at your business every quarter, because a good business owner will do that. They'll know where they stand, and they can start applying those changes that need to be done and working with them and moving up the ladder. So,
well, I know for myself, even a year ago, almost a year and a half ago, when I decided to take the office space. I had had office spaces before, and I had it started by using the one that the town has at the community hub, which is good if anybody wants to do any classes. There's a boardroom there you can rent, and the rent is really reasonable, and it's just pay as you go. So that was good. And but part of me thought I need to have my own space, and so that's why I took the next office space, which I really liked. But signing the lease for the year, I thought this is my commitment for 1 year, and I decided that this is when I'm going to really look at what works, what doesn't. Is this where the direction I should be going in or not? And I really liked it there. It was a perfect space and everything, but my renewal was coming up after COVID had hit, and I was already before that even came, I was thought, okay, I got to decide what I'm doing. And I pretty much had decided I wasn't going to renew, only because I had done just like what you said, Sherry. I looked at my different services. Where is the financially, where is it being revenue coming from? And am I just doing all of this so I can pay for the rent here? And if that's the case, then who am I benefiting? Am I benefiting anyone? And how can I change that to still provide those services, but still be economically ahead? So I went in there, and then when I get in there, they offer, would you want to do it month by month? And I just, for a fraction of a second, I was going to take it. And then I thought, no, I already made my mind up. So I said, no, I can't do it. Because then I knew myself, that would force me into following through on my business plan that I had for myself. Because I felt I was at a stage as well in my life and in my business that I needed to shift how I serve people. And so that had to change. But if I had committed, I wouldn't have done the change, and I would have been sitting there now since March and not been able to use it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Now, Janice, can you tell us a little bit about your new book, Sally's Closet, and where the inspiration came for?
Okay, I'll kind of touch on both of them if you don't mind. The Make It Happen one really has a lot about what we were talking about today. It came from my own life, both of them are my own kind of life experiences here, and then what I've learned from my clients and other co-workers and things like that. So Make It Happen is about the steps to take to overcome your fears in order to manifest what it is you desire. So that applies to any part of your life. Sally's Closet was actually a book I started before Make It Happen. And it started when I used to write online articles for some magazines. And I did this article called Sally's Closet. And I wrote it almost like a children's book. So in the book itself, on the first of every chapter, there's a little story about Sally. And then underneath it, I explain kind of what that story means. And but when I first wrote the article, I just wrote it kind of like a children's story, and it goes, once upon a time there was a little girl named Sally, and it would kind of go on, she had a closet, and what did she keep in her closet, and all these sorts of things. And anyway, I was doing a workshop, and I thought, I got to talk about something back here tonight. What's it going to be? So I took that article with me and read it, thinking, oh, this will be kind of light and everything else. And I looked up, and people were really quiet. And when you speak, you're never too sure if that's because they're really listening to you or if they're bored silly and falling asleep. But anyway, I glanced up, and there was women there. It was a women's group at about 30. And there was quite a few of them crying as I was reading this article. And I thought, they're really getting what I'm trying to say in this. So Sally's Closet is a story about a little girl who, as she grows up, she realizes she learns lots of things, and she wants to remember, doesn't know how she'll ever remember it all. So she decides that she's going to put all her memories in a box, and she's going to decorate the box with pretty bows and pretty paper, and she's going to keep them in her closet, because like most children, she doesn't keep anything else in her closet. So she puts, every time she learns something, she put it in her closet. And her bedroom was her favorite place to play. So it was a perfect place because she could open the closet door and she could see all the boxes. And she could remember when her mommy taught her to make cookies and daddy taught her how to ride the bike. And she could remember her first day of school and at her birthday parties and all of this great stuff. Well, then as Sally grew up, as little girls do, she realized that not all memories are good ones. Not all things that happen to us are good. but she figured she better remember those two. So she wouldn't decorate the boxes so good, and sometimes she didn't feel like decorating them at all because if she was really sad. So she had these brown paper and black paper with no color or anything on them put in there, but she'd put them behind the pretty boxes at first. And then as Sally grew older and more things happened, she come to understand that everybody's homes weren't as nice as hers, that not every person you met was nice to you. And then she had life experiences, which I go into in the book, that just touch on, that happened to her. And she put those in the boxes, and it got to be where she just threw them in and didn't, because she didn't want to look at all the stuff in there. So as she got older, as we do, she decided that she was just going to forget everything that was in that closet. That's how she was going to deal with stuff. That there was memories in there that she didn't want to look at and she didn't want to think about anymore. So if she didn't go into the closet, they didn't exist. So I compare the closet to our mind, our subconscious mind that holds all our memories. And what happens when we try to forget things and stick them away and leave them there until our closet gets so full that one night when Sally was in bed, something happened. And so I go on to say what happened, and then I go on to say what we can do about that. So it's really talking, the story itself is about how we as people try to stuff so much into our mind and not deal with it. And if we don't deal with it, then what happens? So that's what that
Wow.
book's about.
Great. So you can purchase the book on Amazon?
Yes, Amazon.ca, and just punch in Sally's Closet, and there it is. Both
Perfect.
books are there, and they're both in, you can either get them in the Kindle, like, or in the digital, or in the paperback.
Cool.
Oh,
So
yeah.
great. Well, thank you, ladies, for joining us. And Janice, thank you for being here with us. And I know that I certainly learned a lot, and I really appreciate your time. And tomorrow, ladies and Janice, if you have the opportunity to join us, Joel Mannebaum is coming on from Toronto, and he is a digital marketing technology strategist. And
Well, that's a mouthful.
it is. And but he is a wealth of information. Joel is about my age, so about 50, and he started his first business when he was 16 years old, and he has done very well for himself. And he's an interesting character, and he's actually one of my clients, and I really enjoy working with him. He's a wealth of information. He's been a big mentor for me as well. And now I have about 8 different mentors, because I have, as a business owner, you should have at least 1 to 5, they say. And I have 8, and because I have 1 for finances and 1 for, for writing documentation, things like that. So, you surround yourself with people that can help you grow your business and grow yourself. So he's one of these fellows that you can certainly pick up as a mentor for sure. And he's got some great insight into business. So anyhow, I hope you enjoyed today, ladies.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us.
It was really good listening to you, Janice.
Thank you, Kathy. It was nice meeting you. And just again, if anyone wants write up on what I talked about, please feel free to contact me or through Sherry. I'll make sure.
Do you have it in a PDF file that I can put a link on my website and they can download it?
Sounds good. Yep, okay. I'll do that. I'll pop that over to you as soon as we're done here.
That's great. And then the ladies can go on to the website and download the PDF file.
Okay.
Perfect.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Well, thank you again, and I'll look forward to seeing everyone tomorrow.